Very good morning, students. Welcome to the another session of irrigation and hydraulic structure subject. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about how effect of horizontal earthquake acceleration is there. How this horizontal earthquake acceleration will affect the body of the dam, as well as how it will create an inertia force in the body of the dam, and also how it will create hydrodynamic pressure on the water. So these are the two effects which are generated by the horizontal earthquake acceleration. Okay, so with respect to this, we have in the previous lecture we have discussed about how inertia force is induced in the body of the dam. Now in continuation to that, I am moving on to the same slide here. So this base shear is computed in the last equation. Now next to that, computation of total horizontal force as well as what is its moment on the dam. So with respect to this inertia force induced in the body, with respect to horizontal earthquake acceleration, how we are going to compute the force, inertia force, as well as how a moment is developed with respect to that inertia force we are seeing here. Now here you can see in the picture, right, one general profile of the dam is considered, and beside that you can see there is a inverted triangle. This inverted triangle is indicating that is the seismic coefficient distribution. The distribution of seismic coefficient is like a inverted triangle with maximum at the top as 1.5 alpha h and 0 at the bottom of the dam. Okay, so this is the pressure distribution coefficient, right? Pressure distribution coefficient, seismic pressure distribution coefficient, right? Now here you can see in the picture, you can see the dam is divided into number of portions, like 0 0 1 1 is one portion and 1 1 2 2 2 is another portion. So in these two portions we will select some elemental strip, and with respect to that elemental strip we are going to find out what is the seismic distribution coefficient alpha at y, means at any particular location at any depth, right? And with respect to that elemental strip we are going to find out the elemental force. With respect to that elemental force we will find out what is the force in the entire portion, and with respect to that force we are going to calculate what is the total moment developed about the two sections which we are considering. Now let us see here. The first section is 0 to 1 1. So for this portion let us calculate the alpha y value. Alpha y is nothing but we have considered an elemental strip at a distance y dash from the top of the dam. You can see in the picture y dash is the distance of first elemental strip in the portion 0 0 to 1 1. So to that we are calculating what is the seismic coefficient alpha y dash. So that alpha y dash is computed as like here you can see 1.5 alpha h into 1 minus y by h, where y is the location or height of the first portion where the main elemental strip is considered. Okay, now alpha y is calculated, pressure distribution at the considered elemental strip in the portion first 0 0 to 1 1. So here in the portion, let us consider the thickness of the elemental strip as dy dash, and the width of the elemental strip in the first portion is b1. Now with this we are going on to the force calculation. Now with respect to this data, the force is calculated as, the equation is given as dF1, where d indicates small portion. The force is calculated for a small portion. So dF1 is equal to 1 into b1 into dy1. Here 1 indicates a unit distance. 1 into b1 into dy1 into wm into alpha y dash. Here alpha y dash is the seismic coefficient. Now with respect to this, if you want to calculate for the force for the entire portion of 0 0 to 1 1, we need to take integration. So F1 is equal to integration of 0 to H1, because the height of the portion is H1. So from 0 to H1 we can consider this as B1 dy1 into Wm into 1.5 alpha h into 1 minus y dash by h. Okay, so y dash is considered here the distance of elemental strip in the first portion. So after integration, the final equation is given as F1 is equal to 1.5 alpha h into Wm into V1 into H1 into 1 minus H1 by 2h. So that is the final equation of force in the first portion, 0, 0 to 1, 1 portion. Okay. Similarly, if you see for the second moment with respect to this F1 force, the moment about the section 1, 1 can be computed. Section 1, 1 can be computed as, here you can see M1 is equal to 0 to H1 again for the same selected portion, B1 dy1 into Wm into alpha 1.5 alpha h into 1 minus y dash by h. This is the force which is multiplied with the distance, that is h1 minus y dash. Here h1 is the height of the strip and where is the total height of the portion, and y dash is the selected elemental strip distance. Okay, so h1 minus y dash is the distance which is multiplied with the force F1 to get the moment about the section 1, 1. So this is the, after integration, this is the value 1.5 alpha h into Wm into B1 into h1 square by 2 into 1 minus h1 by 3h. This is the moment computed for the first force, first portion. So similarly, you can calculate it for the second portion also. Like this, you can calculate for the second portion. So in the second portion, again we need to consider the depth, which is as dy. The shaded portion, hatchy portion, you can see the hatchy portion is considered as your dy. Okay. Now thickness is dy and width is considered as b2. So b2 including b1 plus n into y minus h1. Here n is the slope at the downstream surface. Slope at the downstream surface. So that is given by by value. So width of the second one. Okay. So by is nothing but here width of the second portion, second elemental strip in between 1, 1 to 2, 2 portion. Now with respect to this, we can compute the force F2, and with respect to force F2, we can compute moment M2. Let us see that also. So here F2 is equal to, the height of the portion is in between, right? So it is for the portion 1, 1 to 2, 2. So it is considered as H1 to H2 plus n, where n is the slope of the downstream phase, into y minus h1 into dy into Wm into 1 minus y by h into 1.5 alpha h. So this is the equation for F2. Now with respect to this, we can compute the moment equation also. The moment equation is also considered, and the final moment is including the moment M1 for the first portion 0, 0 to 1, 1. So in a similar fashion, you can calculate this also. So force and moment are computed in this way. To compute the horizontal force and moment, this is the procedure we need to follow. Now, so that we have calculated by using response spectrum method. Till now we have seen seismic coefficient method. So by using seismic coefficient method, we have calculated these two. Now with respect to response spectrum method, how these horizontal inertia forces are calculated, let us see. According to IS 1893-1984, the base shear and moment are obtained by using these two formulas. So whereas FB formula and FB formulas are given, base shear and moment formulas. So FB is equal to 0.6 into W into alpha h, whereas MB is equal to 0.9 into alpha W into h bar alpha h. So here W is the total weight of the dam and h bar is the height of the dam above the base. So above the base it is considered, and alpha h is already known, it is design horizontal seismic coefficient. So for any depth, if you want to calculate at certain depth, if you want to calculate what is the force, so by using response spectrum method, we have the two equations, that is FB is equal to CV dash into FB, whereas MB is equal to CM dash into MB, where CV dash as well as CM dash are the coefficients which can be computed by using the figure. The graph here you can see. So from this graph, on x-axis we have CV dash and CM dash coefficients. On y-axis we have y by h ratios. So these y by h ratios, based on this you can compute what is the value of this CV dash as well as CM dash coefficients. Okay, so through the graph you can calculate the CV dash CM values so that you can compute force and moment at any depth. Okay. Now, so that is about inertia force induced due to horizontal earthquake acceleration. Now this horizontal earthquake acceleration will also create one more force, that is hydrodynamic pressure of water. So what is this hydrodynamic pressure? This is an additional pressure. When the water is at rest position in the reservoir, it will continuously exert some pressure on the dam. So whenever there is a disturbances or waves are coming, that will create some hydrodynamic pressure. This is called as hydrodynamic pressure. Additional pressure is called as hydrodynamic pressure. So this can be obtained by using two methods. One is von Karman's method and the second one is Zanger's method. So by using von Karman's method, the equation is given as PE is equal to 0.555 into alpha h into WH square. Okay, so this is acting at a distance of 4h by 3 pi from the base of the dam. So this PE force is acting at a distance of 4h by 3 pi from the base of the dam. So this is by using von Karman's method. And now by using the second Zanger's method, here the PEY, the hydrodynamic intensity at any depth below y is given as by equation PEY is equal to Cy into alpha h into WH. Here what is Cy? Cy is a new constant introduced here that can be calculated by using this formula. Cy is equal to Cm by 2 into y by h into 2 minus y by h plus under root y by h minus 2 minus y by h. Okay. So here Cm is again one more constant introduced for calculating Cy. So this Cm can be computed by using 0.375 into 1 minus theta by 90 degrees, where theta is the angle of the upstream phase. Okay. So if you substitute Cm value here, we can compute Cy value. If you substitute Cy value here, you can compute PEY value, hydrodynamic intensity. So alpha can be determined. See here, alpha can be determined by using two methods. One is by using seismic coefficient method and another one is response spectrum method. So by using seismic coefficient method, this is the value, that is alpha y is equal to Fy by Wy, whereas by using second method, that is alpha h is equal to beta into I into F naught into Sa by G. That is, you can simplify it as 2 F naught into Sa by G. This is by using response spectrum method. So this is how you can compute hydrodynamic pressure, which is created due to horizontal earthquake acceleration. Okay. Now, these are the values of Cm. So Cm value can be computed by using this. Here we have on x-axis we have theta values, on y-axis we have Cm values. So based on the theta values, you can compute what is Cm values. Now here you can see Cy values are there. On x-axis we have Cy values, on y-axis we have y by h values. So we can compute with respect to angles, you can compute any one of these values. If you know Cy value, so with respect to this angle you can compute y by h value. If you know y by h value with respect to this and angle is known, you can compute the third value. Okay, so these are earthquake pressure coefficients.